Deep inside Snakemouth Den, time felt non-existent. Dr. HB was still passed out, and Kabbu was trying his best to stay awake to watch Leif. But his body gave out and he slumped over in a deep sleep. Only Miss K remained awake, watching from her charging dock. Her yellow eye brightened when she noticed the blue moth finally stirring. From her point of view, she saw Leif struggling to stand in a jerky, unnatural way. Miss K's scanners flickered. There was no heartbeat detected in the moths. Seeing a potential threat, her eye flashed red as she hovered out of her dock. Weapons aimed directly at him. Suddenly, the moth began speaking in the unknown tongue. It was a strange moment, just like how Miss K had spoken back in the earlier chapters, but this time someone was talking back. The robot girl's eye turned green with excitement as she retracted her weapons and eagerly chirped back in the same ancient language. Loud mechanical chattering woke Dr. HB, who immediately demanded to know who was making all that noise. Kabbu was still snoring away until the doctor nudged him. The beetle rubbed his eyes. Embarrassed that he fell asleep on the job, but he quickly stood up to help. Miss K introduced the newcomer as Leif, a moth from an old scout team. Leif explained he didn't know where the artifact was, speaking in a strange royal way that confused the doctor. Leif turned to Kabbu and thanked him for saving their life. The noble beetle offered a warm handshake, but turned out to be cold when meet hands with the moth, trying to ignore it with a smile. Just glad they arrived in time. Miss K felt her eye turn blue with guilt as she looked away, knowing Dr. HB would likely be troublesome now that a new specimen was found. Dr. HB stepped forward, announcing that Leif was lucky she was a doctor. The moth agreed to an exam, and the old bee suddenly invaded his personal space. As she poked at him, she began to complain loudly about the freezing air making her old joints ache. Kabbu reached for the medical box in the large backpack, but the doctor pulled a separate, smaller medical bag out from the thick fluff around her bee neck. When Kabbu asked why she had a secret bag, Miss K looked at Dr. HBI as purple of suspicious. She explained that anything in the big bag was hers, so HB kept her own private stash to avoid Miss K kleptomania. The doctor realized Leif was biologically impossible and made a low, calculating thinking sound. Dr. HB decided it was time to move on, but the tall bugs almost walked back toward the spider. Leif stopped them, pointing out a save crystal. Dr. HB's cracked glasses began to shine as she leaned closer to Leif. The room was so cold they could see their breath, and HB shivered as she offered to put the moth under for a procedure once they escaped. Leif backed away, not understanding the offer, until the doctor clarified, I want to see what is going on inside Leif's body. Before she could finish, Miss K popped her weapons out. The robot had made a promise to be the team's guardian, and she wasn't going to let the doctor be too scary. Suddenly, Leif felt a surge of panic and popped a magical bubble shield around himself. Dr. HB was knocked backward onto her shell as silence filled the room. A shocked Leif gasped, staring at the glowing blue barrier he had created.